Hey everybody, Sean here. I was going to walk through today the process in which you guys can make your very own skull candle holder out of some simple supplies at your house and a few tools. As far as the supplies go for this, we're going to be using some 3-inch PVC, a candle. Really, you could use a different size PVC. The idea here is to make sure that candle and the PVC have a pretty snug fit. And so this candle fits well into 3-inch PVC without a whole lot of space to wiggle around. You could use 2-inch PVC, just really, look at a different size candles. So you kind of just have to plan ahead with that. Along with the supplies, we tried to do a little schematic here on planning ahead, trying to give us a little path to see how this is going to work. And the idea here is to have that 3-inch PVC become the skull area in which that candle will slide into. Using a low relief carving process with our Dremel 8220, we'll be able to add some of those relief contours and textures to our piece. And along with that, I have just a little bit of some paint here that I think will kind of go in and kind of push some of those recesses back just from a lighting standpoint, knowing that we are only dealing with about a 1/4 inch depth for our carving area. Doesn't offer a ton of distance to kind of push those spots, kind of like in the cheekbone, the eye sockets and nose sockets. We want to make sure we're able to kind of have this come through as a skull. But I do like the idea of being able to have a material that's hard and white already, and having that kind of play off as the skull. Besides the 8220, the other piece of machinery that we'll be using today is just the SawMax. And the idea here is that you can buy these in, I think, 3-inch sections, which make it a pretty affordable project, and you can get multiple pieces out of here because we really only need enough PVC for this candle to go into. So you can see I've marked a line on here that we will cut off, and along with marking that line, I've actually gone through and added a little bit of what my skull is going to look like on the front. So that'll give me some guide on where to remove material, and really just kind of act as that starting step. As you get into it, you might find ways to embellish it, or just kind of let that free flow carving process happen. There's nothing too set in stone here. If you go totally bonkers and need to start over, like I said, I've probably got about 8 more skulls I can make out of this single piece. So feel free to experiment and have fun with this. Well, my GoPro died, so I did just kind of edit it a little bit more from where we were. Kind of notched in a little bit more down in here. Allow those teeth to kind of stand out a bit more. Kind of like the But as I said, we only had that much thickness to work with, so even though it produces a pretty cool look around that candle, I'm thinking I'm going to try to take some black paint, some water-based paint, just to kind of see what happens if I start to add a little bit of kind of indication of some darkness in some of these areas to help kind of accentuate some of these high points and push back some of those dark points. So I'm not necessarily going to film it. Like I said, my GoPro's dead and trying to move through this. Got a great day working in the garage with the door open. So like I said, I've got some water here. I've got some just basic paint from the craft store. Actually, I just kind of pulled it out of my kid's craft box downstairs. But I think, you know, just like I said, try to get that and just going to work in some of these areas inside here where the darkest spots, the most recessed spots are, to try to push those back with a painting technique as opposed to being able to carve that deep within the material. So stay tuned and see what it looks like.